What's up, YouTube? My name is Ty, financial advisor. Welcome to my channel. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is XELA, Exela Technologies. This finishes at $1.67 today. That is up 14.38%.
Winning.
So we last analyzed this stock not too long ago. When this reverse split, the stock started losing momentum, sold off pretty significantly, made a new all-time low. Didn't really hear about it for a while, but today this did make top 10 on StockTwits. I believe it had over 4,000 mentions. So once again, we're going to analyze it. And there was a reason for this price action today. We did have some bullish news come out yesterday in the aftermarket. So let's check it out. The company said Wednesday it entered into a new contract with an unnamed European domiciled financial services firm. Under the terms, the firm will utilize Exela's exchange for bills and payment service. The total contract value over the next 5-year term is valued at about $6 million, the company said. So yeah, really bullish news. The market really liked it. Apes jumping in here and pumping the stock up today. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right in and analyze here. So first of all, this appears to be a cup and handle in the making. Bottom of the cup being the low of 125. And there can be multiple possible tops. It can be $2. $3.35 or $3.60, and longer term, this is part of an even bigger cup and handle where this has the potential to come all the way back up to 109 or even 156. Although I do believe the most realistic top would be $3.35. But those are all bullish indicators. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. Down here on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, the MACD line has not crossed the signal line just yet, but it looks like it will pretty soon. So that's a bullish indicator. That is suggesting that it may be time to buy. And then we have a quadruple gap down. First gap down is back here at 49.80. So that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to 49.80 to fill this gap. Second gap down is back here at 39.20. So another bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to 39.20 to fill this gap. Third gap down is back here at $10. So another bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to $10 to fill this gap. And last gap down was back here at $2.75. So another bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back up to $2.75 to fill this gap. And that gap should fill in the short term. The other three gaps may take a while to fill, but eventually in the longer term, they should. And then we have a gap up created today at 150. So that would be a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back down to 150 to fill that gap. And that gap should fill in the short term as well. In the aftermarket here, this is pulling back down to 162. So if this aftermarket action holds, that would be a bearish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow, this stock will sell off. And here we do have a descending channel forming. Right now, the upper channel is at 245, and the lower channel is actually in the negatives. So it can't actually go down there. But if this breaks 245 to the upside, that would be a bullish indicator. That would suggest that the stock is due for a breakout. So the descending channel is currently a neutral indicator and starting to look bullish. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is sitting on the support of 165, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 185, 190, $2, 215, 220, 230, 235, 240, 250, 255, 265, 270, 280, 295, 305, 315, 320, 335, 360, 380, 390, and then 405. There is resistance above 405, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 155, 140, 135, 130, and then the low of 125. 125 is the all-time low, so no support below that. That would be uncharted territory. So right now at the current price, 167, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 135 to the downside, the channels start to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 135 to the downside. And to the upside, if/when this breaks 215, the channels start to narrow. So expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 215 up until 320. After 320, the channels open up again. So from the current price, 167 up to 215, expect big price action. From 215 up to 320, expect normal price action. And then after 320, expect big price action again. RSI is currently at 39, so not quite oversold and undervalued, but below average there. So according to the RSI, the current price of 167 should be a little bit higher. And this did 34 million in volume today. Very significant volume. way above the average of 3 million, so this pump today was confirmed by the volume. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. Great PR today. The market really liked it. Longer term, the stock is still really bullish. Again, we have some very strong bullish indicators in the cup and handle and quadruple gap down. But in the short term, I'm a bit concerned about the gap up today. And I do think this is going to pull back a little bit before it runs to the upside again. So long term, this looks bullish. And in the immediate short term, this looks bearish. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, the current entry of 167 is a pretty good one. Not quite excellent, but definitely an above average entry here. And if you hold for the longer term, it should pay out pretty big. Eventually, this should come back up to 49.80 to fill the gap there. And from the current price of 167, that would be over a 2,800 80% upside potential. And again, this should come back down to 150 to fill the gap there. So from the current price of 167, that would be a little over a 10% downside potential. This is already near the all-time low and really shouldn't go too much lower to the downside. So I would say going long at the current price, 167, would be a low risk, very high reward play. Definitely worth a shot in my opinion. So 167 is already an above average entry, but if you're a little patient here, this should pull back a little bit to fill the gap, and you should be able to get this back at 150 and possibly lower. And I think 150 would be an excellent entry. So from 150 up to 49.80, that would be a 3,200 20% upside potential. So even more massive upside potential than if you were to enter at 167. Really shouldn't go too much lower to the downside. So I would say going long at 150 would also be a low risk, very high reward play. So I can't support going long at the current price, 167, and if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before, although personally I would try to get this back at 150. So you really can't go too wrong here buying in at the current price and lower. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Honestly, you should be able to make some money here, about 10% to the downside, because again, this should fill the gap at 150. It's just a bit too risky for my liking. Again, we have way more bullish indicators than bearish indicators right now in the cup and handle, MACD, quadruple gap down, and low RSI. Only have 2 bearish indicators. Again, in the longer term, this should fill the gap at 49.80, and that would be over a 2,800 80% upside potential, and only a 10% downside potential here in the short term. This is already near the all-time low. Really shouldn't go too much lower. So I would say going short here at the current price 167 would be a very high risk, low reward play. Not really worth it in my opinion. If you want to go short, it would definitely have to be for a quick scalp. Get in, get your money, get out. And again, I would cover at 150 where the gap is. So if you want to go short, please do that at your own risk. And honestly, you're probably better off just avoiding this altogether on the short side. There are definitely way better short plays out there in the market. So pretty straightforward, guys. It's been a very rough month for this stock. Actually, a really rough year for this stock. It pulled back all the way from 110 when this initially squeezed all the way down to under $2. But here today, we got some very good PR. The company has a new $6 million contract. So the apes really liked it, jumped in, pumped the stock up today, but it did create a gap, and this will probably pull back in the short term. But longer term, the stock still looks really bullish. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, you can't go too wrong here. Buying in at the current price, 167, massive upside potential in the longer term. Really shouldn't go too much lower to the downside, so I can't support going long at the current price, 167. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. And personally, I would try to get this back at 150, where the gap is. And if you want to go short, not financial advice, you should be able to make some money here to the downside, but it is pretty risky. Again, massive upside potential in the longer term, and only a 10% downside in the short term. So if you want to go short, it would definitely have to be for a quick scalp. Get your money, get out. Again, I would cover at 150 where the gap is. But honestly, there are way better short plays out there in the market, and you're probably better off just avoiding this one altogether. If you want to go short, please do that at your own risk. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is XELA, Exela Technologies. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please, like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.